The wheel of the year keeps turning, and with Marbon we have reached a point of equilibrium once again, as day and night, light and darkness are balanced and are roughly equal in length. This Sabbath is the counterpart to the Spring Festival Ostara on the Wheel of the Year and the Second Harvest Festival. In the Northern Hemisphere, the Autumn Equinox usually falls about between September 21st and 23rd, rarely September 24th. And did you know that, contrary to popular belief, the term Mabon is not the ancient name for the Autumn Equinox? It derives from a Welsh character found in a collection of tales, and I also just learned about this recently. Now, the whole summer it was about expansion in the outside world. Everything was about ripening and growing, but now we start to feel the shift. Now we start to feel that it is time to withdraw slowly into our homes. And what I love about this Sabbath is that not only is the focus on the need for balance, but also on the harvest and on gratitude. Gratitude is so big for Marbon. And most of us today are fortunate enough not to worry about food, and our sense of appreciation, therefore, is often no longer directly linked to it. It has become normal to go to the supermarket and buy whatever we need. But in the past, people were beyond grateful for having enough to survive the upcoming winter with the food that they had grown and harvested. And so this Sabbath really is an invitation to reflect on what seeds have taken root and grown in our own lives over the past months that we have sown ourselves, and whether they are enough to sustain us in the months ahead, in a more metaphorical sense. And I feel like after celebrating the Wheel of the Year for a few years now, that I really understood what Marbon was all about. I could really feel the energy of Marbon this year. I harvested fruits in my parents' garden and I created a beautiful Marbon altar. This is my favorite way of seasonal living. And so let me share how I created my Marbon altar, so I hopefully can give you some inspiration to create your own. I usually start with my Marbon celebrations around September the 20th, and I said this before, but instead of cramping everything into one day, I usually take my time and allow myself to celebrate for a few days or even a few weeks until I can feel the energy of a certain season or Sabbath. And these are all the things that I had in my home or I thrifted, and I was going all in this year with the harvest and abundance theme. As you can see, I thrifted this beautiful garland just the other day at a flea market, and it was just perfect for Marbon. And gold, as always, is a must for me for this Sabbath. And I love to work with fabric and like textures, and this is what my parents gave me, and it was just the perfect centerpiece for my Marbon altar. Now remember that this Sabbath is really all about harvest and abundance, prosperity and fruitfulness, gratitude, harmony and balance, light and darkness. So you can integrate symbols into your altar like apples and plums, pumpkins, bread, wine grapes, and you can work with colors like yellow, orange and red, gold, brown, greenish colors, but also black and white to reflect the light and darkness aspect of the Sabbath. You can integrate crystals like obsidian, orange calcite, orange aventurine, crystal clear quartz or citrine or a tiger's eye. And you can also integrate and work with flowers, trees and herbs. And I really integrated hawthorn big into my altar this year. I created this altar piece for this year's celebrations out of hawthorn that I collected, and it is beautiful for protection magic. And if you want to work with deities, you could work with Demeter. She's the goddess of agriculture, harvest and grain, and Persephone, whose meaning revolves around the dual themes like life and death, rebirth and cycles, but also agriculture and the underworld. And when it comes to magic, the autumn equinox is a beautiful time for some hearth and home magic, particularly for setting protective wards around your home. Spells focus on bringing harmony and peace to your home. These are especially potent during this Sabbath. And so really gather items that reflect the current season's colors, scents, and symbols to honor the turning of the year. And what I love to do is creating a focal point for my altar, which is this beautiful golden vase this year. And to more integrate the theme of balance, you could balance your altar. You could do the same on the left side as you do on the right. This is something that I didn't do this year because I just really wanted to integrate the theme of harvest and abundance and fruitfulness. And so I did some flower bouquets with autumn leaves. I put some pumpkins there. I have my favorite candle holders with brownish golden candles. I didn't have white and black candles. I put some fruits of nature that I found the other day, like rose hips, thyme, chestnuts, acorns, and I also put some crystals there. I just really love this setup, and hands down I think it is the best altar I ever made, and this really shows me that I really understood the theme of Marbon, because I really considered what I'm putting on my altar so much. I also put this little gnome there because I love working with the gnomes. I want to show them that they are welcome in my home. And so I love this setup. I just really love looking at it. And I put it intentionally at this place because when the sun goes down, you have the most beautiful golden sunset that is like hitting my altar. And so the setup was intentional. And this is kind of the reminder that now we are going into the darker months of the year, but abundance and fruitfulness is always in my life. And so here is the finished altar. I really hope you enjoyed decorating with me today. Don't forget to get inspired by nature and just do whatever feels right to you when it comes to your seasonal celebrations. And I will see you again next week. Bye bye.